On this episode, we're back to work on the Rabbit. Okay, so what we're going to start with today is I picked up replacement bolt here, a few replacement exhaust studs. So we're going to go through just the older ones that we're going to reuse and just clean up the threads, and then we'll move under the car and clean up the exhaust stud threads on the studs that remained in the block. So this shouldn't take very long, but it's make the rest of the job a lot easier. Okay, so those with little or no experience, I'll quickly explain what I'm doing here. So this is a tap and die set, and I'm pretty sure this is I think this is a die. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, there's different sizes. This is M8 by 1.25. So M8 means 8 millimeter. 1.25 is the thread pitch. Basically what I did was I just matched it up with my existing bolts, and you can see on the new bolt goes in no problem because the threads are nice and clean and sharp, no problem there. When I put it on, say, one of these grungy exhaust studs that came out of the block, it tightens up. They don't want to go in very well because there's carbon and crap on there. So what I'm going to do is these bolts I'm going to reuse. I'm not going to reuse these exhaust studs because I have new ones there, but I'm going to just chase all these threads, get it ready for reinstallation, just make the job a lot easier. I'll do these ones. I've got the new exhaust studs here for the three that came out, and then I will go under the car and just chase the exhaust studs that are still in the block as well. Just make everything go a little bit more smoother. Probably need to use a little bit of penetrating oil just to help it cut through the threads and make it a little bit easier. Okay, so we're under the car now, and as hopefully you can see, we've got a few of the exhaust studs that remained in the block. So, and they're looking a little gungy. I don't know if you can, how well this is focusing on there, but let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Yeah, so again, I'm just going to chase these threads here with the die. I'll just make it a little easier to put everything back together. I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to get this on camera, but I'll do the best that I can. Okay, so I cleaned up this exhaust manifold pretty well. I've kind of chased all the threads on all the studs here. So I think what I'm going to do is reinstall this onto the car, just loosely. I've got some new gaskets here. I'm going to kind of put it together, but not tighten everything up just in case. I'm not exactly sure how all of this is going to go back together. So I'll get this in place, and then we'll talk about how we're going to reinstall the intake manifold. Okay, so next up, I think what I'm going to do is pull this valve cover off. That'll give me a little better access to get the air intake back into place. Again, I'm just gonna kind of get everything into place so that I can make sure that it's gonna go on before I tighten everything down and get all the gaskets in place. So that's what I'm gonna do next, which will also involve removing the belt cover. When I ordered new gaskets, I did order a new gasket for the valve cover because I think it may be leaking a little bit again. So anyways, like I said, this stuff's all in the way, and when I was removing it, I really had to work to wiggle it out of there. So I'm hoping if I remove that valve cover, just give me a little bit better access to everything back there. So. Okay, so that air intake did not, it wasn't seating properly with the exhaust manifold in place. So I am going to try and remove the exhaust manifold, just see if I can get the intake manifold on and seated properly, and then see if it works better putting the exhaust manifold on afterwards. But while I've got it off, I do also have some kind of worn out wiring back here. So I purchased a couple new of these plugs. I think I just got them on eBay or somewhere. So while I've got everything out of the way, I'm just gonna replace those and then we'll move underneath to remove the exhaust manifold. It's just sitting in place right now with the screw, with the nuts on there, just kind of so it doesn't fall off, but hasn't been torqued down yet. So I'm gonna quickly fix up some of this wiring and then we will move on to that. That was a real pain in the butt. That was, I guess it's probably just my inexperience, but I tried it a few different ways with the exhaust manifold on, with the exhaust manifold off. I tried it with the exhaust manifold just kind of on, but kind of loose and to create a bit more room. But I think the way that it ended up working the best was I did have to have the exhaust manifold in place and basically in the correct position. Having it slack and tip back, which I thought would create a bit more room, wasn't letting the intake manifold seat properly. So after a bunch of trial and error, basically having the exhaust manifold in place and tightened loosely, like so that it was in the correct position, and then I was able to kind of manipulate this intake into place with the gasket and the bolts. So I've got those all in place. I'm just going to go underneath now, torque everything up, and then we'll move on to putting the rest of this back together. Okay, so we've got the exhaust manifold, the air intake manifold back installed, gaskets in place, torque to the proper specifications. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I've just got this valve cover sitting in place so nothing fell in there. I'm gonna get that off again. It's just sitting there, kind of cleaning it up, and then we'll clean up the top of the head there and get that reinstalled with the new gasket, and all torqued down. Alright, so we've got everything up top here back together. Now I'm just going to slide underneath, reconnect the exhaust pipe to the down pipe, get the hangers back on, and then we'll lower it down to the ground. Got the battery charger on it now just to make sure the battery's all topped up, and then we'll start it up hopefully and see if we've fixed that exhaust leak. Okay, exhaust is all back together along the bottom. It was a little hard to get it torqued to the proper specs down there, so a couple spots, especially on the downpipe, I had to just kind of do it hand tight, so hopefully it's tight enough. But yeah, let's open up the garage, see if we can get this baby to start, because it's been a while. It's been sitting here, so let's give it a go. So yeah, it's a little hard to tell, smoking a little from some oil. It's just burning off the bottom of the engine there, but has no muffler on it currently still, just straight pipe to the back. But I believe the engine exhaust leak is fixed, so that's a win. I think we're gonna try and put a muffler on it this summer too, because the old muffler just kind of fell off, so we just kind of straight piped it, and we thought that was cool for a while, but it's getting kind of annoying now. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. We're going to try and keep some more videos coming now that we're back in the groove. So we'll see you next time on Analog Generation.